Hello, welcome to the second episode of the Pick and Roll NBA podcast. I am Nate Sugar, and today I am going to be going over my award predictions for the rest of the season in the NBA. I'm going to give my selection to win the award and then two runner ups. And we're going to start with the Coach of the Year. And with the Coach of the Year, I have Steve Kerr of the Golden State Warriors winning the award. And they have been very good to start the season. They have the best record in the NBA, the Warriors. And I think a lot of it has to do with Steve Kerr. Obviously, Steph Curry is doing his thing, but the rest, they don't have a great supporting cast. Well, at least that's what you would think coming into the season. But with so many players stepping up, I think that has a lot to do with what Steve Kerr has done with this team. He's gotten a lot of the players' confidence up, like Jordan Poole, Gary Payton the second, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green. They're all providing probably a little bit more than expected, especially Jordan Poole and Gary Payton the second. And I can't even imagine how dirty this team's going to be when Klay Thompson comes back. I mean, there's going to be a real threat to the NBA, but I think Steve Kerr is getting overlooked here as a real factor as to why they're playing so well. My two runner-ups for the Coach of the Year award are Quinn Snyder of the Utah Jazz and Eric Spoelstra of the Miami Heat. I think the Heat are playing much better than last year, and a lot of that has to do with Eric Spoelstra and how he's gotten these group of guys to play so well together. And with Quinn Snyder and the Jazz, I think he probably should have won that award last year. They're gonna be a really good team again this year. I think they'll be the number one seed in the West at the end of the season. And I think they're just a phenomenal team, and it's a lot of it has to do with the coaching. You just tell that they're a very well coached team. Next award I'm gonna be going over is the Sixth Man of the Year award, and to win this award, I have Tyler Hero of the Miami Heat. They're 11-6 right now. They're winning games, and right now Tyler Hero is averaging 21 and a half points compared to last year only averaging 15. He's stepping up all over the court, not just scoring. He's averaging more assists, more rebounds, higher free throw percentage, higher 3-point percentage, higher field goal percentage. Everything is up for Tyler Hero. All his mistakes that he was struggling with last year, they're gone. He's a confident scorer now, and he just when you have that second unit come in for the Heat, and you have Hero coming in, you can confidently have him lead that are pretty bad second unit for the Miami Heat. I mean, they're a pretty bad bench besides Tyler Hero, right? Oladipo, who's always injured. He's not the Oladipo we used to know. Dwayne Dedman is their backup center. KZ Okapola. That's not a good bench, right? But to be a really good team, I think you need to have somebody that could come off the bench for you and provide you with the points and just the production that Hero gives you, and to be Eric Spoelstra and be able to go, I have this 21 and a half point per game scorer off my bench who could come and take over the game when my starters aren't playing so well. That's the type of guy you need on a championship team. And I think that's why the Heat are a championship team this year. And I think a lot of it is with Tyler Hero. My runner-ups for the Sixth Man of the Year award are Derrick Rose of the New York Knicks. Derrick Rose is somebody who was in the Sixth Man of the Year talk last year, and just again this year, he had a little bit of a rough start, but he is playing so well. And if you watch these Knicks games, the stats don't really show what he does for the Knicks, right? You'll see he's getting around 13 points per game, but he's so much more important than that, you know? When you see him come onto the court, he's just you could see that he's a leader, and he really leads this team into the success they have. And he's such a key player to this team that I don't know if they didn't have him. I don't know if they would be a playoff talked about team. I think they'd be around the 10th seed, 11th seed if they didn't have Derrick Rose, because I think he's such a factor to this team. The way he moves off the ball, his defense ability, his passing ability, his consistency, and especially his IQ is just so high. And I think he is such an underrated player. And I think him and Hero are going to have the neck and neck battle for Sixth Man of the Year award. The next award I'm going to be going over is the Most Improved Player award. And to win this, I have Cole Anthony of the Orlando Magic. And it's not often you see a second year player win this award. But I really think he's playing so well and he's improved so much that he will win this award. Right now he's averaging 20 points as opposed to 13 points last year. His steals have gone up by 0.5, averaging 1.1 steals now. He's averaging 6 assists opposed to 4 assists last year. He's averaging nearly 7 rebounds compared to 4.5 last year. His free throw percentage is up. His field goal percentage is up. His 3-point percentage is up. Everything is up for Cole Anthony. And he is, I mean, the Magic suck, right? But he is just so good for them. He's just, he seems like he can't be guarded one-on-one. He passes the ball phenomenally, and he even rebounds the ball with 7 rebounds a game. For it's probably shorter than 6'2", and he's averaging nearly 7 rebounds a game. Against the Knicks earlier this year, he had 13 rebounds. You have a 6'1", 6'2" point guard getting 13 rebounds, averaging 20 points, and averaging 6 assists with 1 steal a game. And compared to last year, averaging 13 points, 0.6 steals, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. It's just the improvement level from Cole Anthony is just, it's insane. And I think it'd be crazy not to give him the Most Improved Player award. My 2 runner-ups to win this award are Miles Bridges and Ja Morant. And I think a lot of people might be surprised by me not having Miles Bridges as my number 1 to win this award. And his points have gone up. He's averaging 21.5 points this year compared to 13 last year. He's averaging just 0.2 more turnovers, even though he's getting nearly 7 more minutes. He's averaging the same amount of blocks. He's averaging 0.7 more steals with 1.4 steals. He's averaging 3.4 assists. That's 1 more than last year. He's averaging 7.5 rebounds. That's 1.5 more than last year. But the thing with Miles Bridges is his efficiency. He's shooting 75% from the free throw line. That's 10% down from last year. He's shooting 33% from 3. That's 7% down from last year. He's shooting 45% from the field. That's 5 down from last year. And his effective field goal percentage is 52, down 7 from last year. Everything with the percentages is just down. Everything's down. And it's because he's taking more shots. He's taking bad shots. Yes, is he scoring more? Yeah, but that's because he's taking 17 shots a game as opposed to 9 shots a game last year. And a lot of these shots are turning into misses. And he's just not the most consistent scorer. And I think his improvement hasn't been as significant as Cole Anthony's has been. And my other runner-up is Ja Morant, who I think is a very sneaky pick for this award. Obviously, we all know what Ja Morant's doing. Currently a MVP candidate, averaging 25 points a game as opposed to 19 from last year. He's averaging 1.6 steals. That's 0.7 more than last year. Averaging just the same amount of assists with 7. Averaging 6 rebounds. That's 2 more than last year. His free throw percentage is up by 7. His field goal percentage is up by 5. His 3-point percentage is up by 6. His effective field goal percentage is up by 6. Everything is up for Ja Morant. And I think with the Most Improved Player, his improvement in terms of the stats aren't as significant as Cole Anthony and Miles Bridges, right? Miles Bridges and Cole Anthony are averaging around like 9 to 7 more points from last year and way more assists, way more rebound. Everything's up for them. But the thing is, when you're already averaging 20 points a game and 7 assists, it's hard to get much better. But Ja Morant has seemingly he's gotten so much better. And it's hard. And I think that's the thing with Ja Morant and why I have him as a very high chance to win the Most Improved Player award is because when you're already averaging 20 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, it's hard to get your stats to go up that much more where you're like, oh, he's really the Most Improved Player. But Ja Morant has managed to do that, right? He's averaging 25 points now, still 7 assists, averaging 1.6 steals now instead of 0.9, averaging 6 rebounds instead of 4. All his percentages are up. The team is winning more. They're a better team, and it's all revolves around Ja Morant. It's not like the supporting cast has gotten better. It's actually gotten worse. They lost Valanciunas. They have Steven Adams now instead of Valanciunas, and they're still playing at a higher level than what they were last year. That's because Ja Morant has just improved so much. Next award I'm going to be going over is the Defensive Player of the Year award. And I have Giannis Antetokounmpo winning this award for the second time in his career. Last year, he was a candidate, but Gobert stole it away. You know, Giannis is obviously, we all know he's one of the best defenders in the league, and I think he's the best defender in the league. He can guard any position, 1 through 5. He can guard your center, he can guard your point guard. And he's just such a versatile defender. He's averaging 1.5 steals this year and 2 blocks. Honestly, I think both of those stats will even go up as the season goes on. He's just such a phenomenal defensive player that it's hard not to have him as the defensive player of the year, in my opinion, with how he's able to chase you down. Even if you get by him, he's so lengthy, he's so athletic that he still could block you from behind, even if you do manage to get by him. But it's just so hard to get by him because he's so athletic, because he's so lengthy, because he's so fast. It's just so hard to get by him, even if you are a 6'2" point guard. It's hard to get by him because usually when you have the size advantage of Giannis, it comes with being much slower than the little guards, and that's the problem you see with like guys like Rudy Gobert is little point guards are much faster, so they could just blow right by him to get the switch, and it creates a mismatch when you have Gobert on some point guard. But there's no mismatch with having Giannis on a point guard. My runner-ups to win this award are Bam Adebayo and Rudy Gobert, and I think really with the Defensive Player of the Year award, as you can see, all three of my candidates are big men, and that's how it is almost every single year, right? Or like last year was Ben Simmons, but he's 6'10", right? It's always going to be a big guy because to get the stats you need, right? It starts with blocks, right? The little guards aren't going to get enough blocks to be the Defensive Player of the Year. And when you're a guard, you just don't get the blocks, but you'll get the steals. But thing is, with the big man, they also can get the steals, right? With Giannis averaging 1.5, with Gobert averaging over 1, Bam averaging 1.5, right? Like, even if you are the big man, you still get those steals, right? It's just the blocks that makes it hard for the guards to win the Defensive Player of the Year. And with Bam and Gobert obviously he won it last year. He's always going to be a candidate. And I think with Bam is the thing with him is he's like Giannis, right? Where he's such a versatile defender that he can guard the point guard, the shooting guard, the small forward, the power forward, and the center. He can guard every position on the court. And you don't really get mismatches with Bam, right? You don't, when you have a point guard get a switch and you have Bam guarding the point guard, that's not a mismatch for the point guard, right? That point guard is probably not going to score on Bam because Bam's so fast and he's such a good defender that the point guard's not going to be able to get by him. And even if he does, Bam's going to come up from behind and swat that off the backboard. Next award I'm going to be going over is the Rookie of the Year award. And I have Evan Mobley winning the Rookie of the Year. And he's phenomenal, big man for the Cavaliers. And the Cavaliers have actually surprised a lot of people, including myself, this season. And Mobley is a big factor as to what they are doing on the basketball court and how they are performing. He's averaging 14.5 points a game, 1.5 blocks, 1 steal, 8 rebounds with 2.5 assists, and the percentages are good too. He's shooting 50% from the field almost, 30% from 3, and from the free throw line, 77%. He's a good free throw shooter. The 3-pointers aren't falling. He's got to work on his 3-point shot. It's not that great, but Mobley and Allen, the big man duo is working. The Cavs are winning games, and these stats for a rookie that Mobley is putting up is just it's insane what he's doing. He's nearly averaging a double-double. His defense is out of this world good, and it's not. And his percentages are really good for a rookie. It's really good for a rookie, and his turnovers to get almost 34 minutes a game and only be averaging 1.8 turnovers. That's just crazy. And he's just been so good to start the year, and I think he's going to keep it up. And I think he's going to walk away with the Rookie of the Year award once the season is done. And my 2 runner-ups are 2 players really surprising everybody this year, and Chris Duarte for the Indiana Pacers and Scotty Barnes for the Toronto Raptors. And with Duarte and Barnes, it's a lot of situational on why they're playing so well, right? With Scotty, Siakam missed so much time. And with Duarte, TJ Warren is missing time. You know, the Indiana Pacers are just dealing with a lot of injuries. And the Raptors have been very good. The Pacers started off very bad, but they're on a nice little win streak here. And they're both going to be solid teams, probably around the play-in. And with Duarte and Barnes, even though their success recently has been because of other star players on the team being injured, because they have shown what they could do, and these teams are looking like they're gonna be in rebuild mode, right? The Raptors look like they're gonna go into rebuild mode. They might even trade Siakam this season. The Pacers, you know, if I'm the Pacers, they're probably looking to start a rebuild. They might trade Sabonis and Brogdon at the end by the start of next season, right? Like and these rookies and how they're playing is just making these general managers want to start a rebuild all the more because of how well they're playing, right? Darte and Barnes are they're phenomenal players. I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them won Rookie of the Year. The final award we'll be going over is the MVP, the most important player, the most valuable player, probably the most important award. Also, it is the most important award, the most talked about award. And to win this, I don't think it's much of a surprise. I have Steph Curry for the Golden State Warriors. They're 14-2. They're winning games. He's averaging 30 points a game with with 3 turnovers, 0.7 blocks, 1.7 steals, 6.5 assists, 6 rebounds. His percentages obviously outstanding. 95% from the free throw line. You know he's going to be hitting his free throws. He's shooting 42% from three. He's shooting 46% from the field. His effective field goal percentage is 60. 60. He's getting 34 minutes a game, and he's just insane, right? When you watch him play, you're like, how can a team possibly guard him? Because they can't. They can't guard him. Nobody can guard Stephen Curry. You just no coach, no player, nobody could figure out how to properly guard him to the point where you actually shut him down. And this season, it's been the same, right? You just can't stop him. He's unstoppable offensive player. And the Warriors' success will continue. I think I don't see them getting worse, especially with when Clay comes back, and I don't think his success will go down as long as he's healthy. Right? We've seen some injuries with him recently, with him breaking his hand a few years ago, and as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be the MVP. I don't think it's a close race as of right now. I don't think it will be looked at as a close race by the end of the year. My two runner-ups are Kevin Durant and Jimmy Butler. And with Jimmy Butler, he's averaging a career high in points right now with 25 points a game. He's averaging 0.4 blocks. He's averaging 2.1 steals. He's averaging 5.5 assists, 5.5 rebounds. His free throw percentage is 85. His effective field goal percentage is 55. His field goal percentage is 53. His three-point percentage is the one flaw to his game, with him shooting just 27% from three. But he's just such a good player. The Heat are winning games. They're looking like a finals contender. I had them in a previous episode as finishing as the second seed in the East, and I think they still will finish the second seed in the East. They are the 4th seed right now. They're not even the best team. It's just Butler has been so good to start the season, and I think the success will continue for him. And with Kevin Durant, he's averaging 28.6 points per game. He's averaging 3 turnovers, half a block, half a steal, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds. And the percentages just make him look even better. 62% effective field goal percentage, 42% from three. And his field goal percentage is 56. 56. And he's shooting 20 shots a game, and his field goal percentage is 56. That's the field goal percentage of a center, but only inside center that's only taking inside layups. But he's taking threes. He's taking tough fadeaway mid-range, tough fadeaway threes even. He's just an unstoppable offensive player, and the Nets are playing well, and I think they'll finish around the top 4, top 3 seeds in the East. But the thing that I think lowers him from Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry is the fact that the improvement that Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry have brought to their team from last year, right? Steph Curry and the Warriors were the 9th seed last year. Jimmy Butler and the Heat were the 6th seed last year. And I think the improvement to the team that is clearly you can see is something that Kevin Durant does not have. You know, the Nets are currently just as good as they were last year, right? They looked, even honestly, they look worse than they were last year, right? Harden and Kyrie just haven't stepped up. And that's usually when you have these superstar players step up and just carry the team on their back, right? And like Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler are doing, right? But Kevin Durant hasn't really just put the team on his back and said, here we go. We're just going to go win some games. He's put the stat line on his back, but he hasn't put the team on his back, right? The stats are there, but the team success isn't there. And obviously a lot of people argue that it's not about team success, right? That's a team award. That's something to do with the team. But Steph Curry is the reason the Warriors win, right? Kevin Durant obviously is the reason Nets win, but he hasn't just put the team on his back like these other two players have. And that does it for this episode. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.